let's take Jalen Milroe of the Seahawks. I've been told Seattle would like to use him in the red zone, that he's just a unique athlete and he's one of those athletes that you can't prepare for. He's just faster than anybody on your team. But right now, if you don't have a contract with the Seahawks, can I get the playbook? What am I doing? You have a quick camp. What is a quarterback that's new to this league? Where are they in the process now?
Well, that's a couple different questions there. Number one, they're in this phase of basically there's all these rules of what you can do with veteran players. You get 3 phases. Phase 1, basically there's no football. It's lifting, it's rehab, it's studying terminology. Phase 2, you get into maybe throwing on air. There's no defense, some of that kind of stuff. And then phase 3, the end of it, now we're in 7-on-7, 9-on-7, team drills, 11-on-11. But I think uniquely to this situation with Jalen Milroe, what you're going to see is you're going to see a guy that they're going to try to develop as he's the backup. He's going to be developing, and I think that might even include playing on Sundays. So you saw what Kyle Shanahan did. Clint Kubiak came from that system. You saw what Kyle Shanahan did a little bit with Trey Lance before he got hurt. Short yardage, goal line, and low red zone, meaning inside the 10-yard line. There will be a package for Jalen Milroe, who he is as a runner, also who he is as a quarterback, as a thrower. I think they're going to give him a small menu, not a Cheesecake Factory menu, like a very small menu of things to think about and dominate. And what that's going to do is every opponent's going to have to spend a lot of time thinking about it, planning for it. And it's time that they won't be spending game planning for Sam Darnold and the rest of the guys.
Yeah, I'm so curious how this actually plays out in practice. I've already unpacked kind of the whole Jalen Milroe playing on Sunday in terms of that, the pros and cons of that. I'm definitely a slow and steady wins the race with these quarterbacks, and throwing them out there, even if it's limited. It's still something that I would love. I'm a big fan of just having a rookie and be like, you're not playing. Just take this all in. The NFL is vastly different than college. Just take it all in. Get organized. Get acquainted with what it's like to be a true full-time professional athlete, right? And just look at the speed and the size and the physicality that the NFL has to offer. And even if we're putting him out there for just one snap a game, it's still a snap. And it's just to me, the reward is not worth the risk, quite frankly. But to me, this probably all depends on how well Sam Darnold looks like. If this team is flowing and rolling and this offense is connected and having a lot of success, if Sam Darnold's playing like he did with Minnesota, I feel like a Jalen Milroe will be used less and less and less, and not really necessarily a priority. They might put him out there as kind of like what Hasselbeck is saying, like in a way to just make defenses feel that it's a thing, that it's an option, more so than it's actually going to be a foundational aspect of their playbook. I could see that if the offense is getting stagnant, or if they're having, a bunch of series where they're moving the ball down the field, having a lot of success, but they keep settling for field goals instead of touchdowns. I really think the way how this offense, the production of the offense itself, and especially Sam Darnold, I think that will dictate more so how much they use Jalen Milroe, as well as Jalen Milroe's just, how does he look in practice? How comfortable is he, et cetera, et cetera. Because what you don't want to do is have Jalen Milroe go in there 1st and 10 at the 8, and then now it's, 2nd and goal at the 6, right? You burned it down for 2 yards or something, or an incompletion, right? You don't want to get in that. And now you have him go in there. He throws an incompletion, or he tries to run, but there's nowhere to really go. So he gets tackled and he gets a yard gain, and now you call him out. Right, and now he runs to the sideline, and it's congrats, you got 1 yard. That doesn't necessarily feel good either, and that doesn't necessarily increase Jalen Milroe's comfortability either. It's just not a lot. And Colin talked about before, which people were trying to dispute, that Colin was just making stuff up, which is just 100% not true. When Colin says I talked to someone in Seattle that this is what they want, you can take that to the bank. Colin literally has dinner and meets with the owners, the GMs, head coaches, the coordinators. This is all reputation based. If Colin just made stuff up, then like he wouldn't have the connections that he has. So he was talking about that the Seattle was saying that they want to use Jalen Milroe like around 6-7 times a game. Like that's a lot for me personally. I think that's too much. If you think Jalen Milroe is going to be a special quarterback one day, then just let him develop. Just take your time. Don't trot him out there just because. It almost never works. Seriously, they've tried this with Justin Fields. They tried it with Jalen Hurts. They tried it with Trey Lance. It just does not work as much as people think it will. In theory, you're like, this guy's so athletic. He's so dynamic. He's electric. Defenses are going to have to try to plan for him now. And it just never really gets executed as well as you would hope it to be. It just doesn't. So I don't see the risk worth the reward personally, unless you think that Jalen Milroe is never going to be a great quarterback. Like that's the thing. If you think that Jalen Milroe is not going to be a great quarterback and that he's not going to be a starter for you one day, well then sure, trot him out. Then he's a weapon. Then he is a chess piece, right? Then he is a gadget. So then it's like, sure, try to figure out how you can use him in a way that enhances your offense. I'm all for that. But that's only if you don't think that he's going to be a special quarterback one day. If you believe he's going to be a special quarterback one day, then just develop him like a normal person develops a quarterback. Don't just throw him out there when the score's, 10-7 and it's the third quarter and he hasn't taken a snap all game and you're at the 9-yard line and you're like, hey, Jalen, please make a great play for us. That's just it's too much. You're not putting a player in a position to succeed. And then let's say he throws an incompletion. Let's say he throws a great pass, but it's a little high and it goes off the fingertips. And, you hear on the commentator where they're like, oh, Jalen Milroe made a pretty good throw. It could have been better, but so-and-so has to catch that. It's still Jalen Milroe's like, oh, man, I should have made a better throw. And now he doesn't see the field for the rest of the game. It just doesn't go. It just doesn't work right. Honestly, it really doesn't. So, I think you got to figure out, who do you think Jalen Milroe is today and who do you think he will be tomorrow? Combine that with how does the Seattle Seahawks offense look today, and then that's how you make these decisions. You make the decisions based on the current evidence that you have after you see what everything looks like as a whole. You don't come up with a plan now and say this is what we want to do, because you don't have the information. You have to see what this offense looks like. You have to see what Sam Darnold looks like. You have to see what Jalen Milroe looks like. You have to see how this all fits together before trying to say, this is what we want to do. This is our intention. I don't think you should have any intentions in this immediate moment. It should just be like, we're just going to evaluate and see what we have. Then we're going to come up with our plan based off of that. To me, that's the better way to go. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Seattle Seahawks wanting to have Jalen Milroe contribute pretty much right away, year one? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're all on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.